Welcome back to Let's Play Edelweiss Trial Version.
とにかくみんな、急に環境が変わってみんなが戸惑う気持ちもわかるけど、陰口とかは良くないよ。
By the way, still nothing new on the Higurashi front. Actually checked the Steam forums. And there was an update, like pointing out like that they're going over, you know, the testing and all that. But that was like in late April. Wait, was it late April or late March? I can't even remember. It's quite a while back though. Just one of the comments on the thread saying something like, you know, testing for all and, you know, getting it all up and running could take a few months. It's already been a freaking year! And they only just get around to the testing. It's ridiculous. The other ones were just a few months. But a whole year? What the hell? Also, the manga gave a post on Twitter. I like one of the first responses to it was a gif of that old woman from Titanic saying, "It's been 84 years." Well, it certainly feels that way, doesn't it?
不安なこととか言いたいことがあるなら私に言ってきてね。相談に乗るからね。
Just 83 more years to go, and it'll be 84 years for the release. Can you imagine that? If they actually did that, it's like, you know what? We're gonna actually wait 84 years to release the arc. By that point, the people working on it probably would have been dead by that point. Her tone was kind and gentle, everyone there began to relax. The crowd dispersed before we knew it.
どうなることかと思った。
大変だったね。
Sakura was very friendly and talking to us. The little girl Rin was still hiding behind Sakura. She was bigger than Sakura though, so she wasn't hidden at all.
女が集まると結構怖いでしょ。
Yeah, right, it was scary when you had us surrounded.
でしょ？あんまり怒らせない方がいいよ。
Especially if there's nearby rocks to be thrown at you.
でも俺らすっかり悪い噂が広まってるみたいだし。
みんな噂話が好きだからね。広まるのも早いんだよ。私も聞いたよ。しょっぱなからいろいろかましちゃったみたいね。下着頭にかぶってたって本当？
ああ、それはカズシね。こいつ。
Appo, Appo, Appo. I hate your guts, and you have a lot of it because you are just die, seriously. It was your fault, Appo. You forced it on me. You know, because it's all animated like this, it would make it kind of difficult. Well, I could, you know, just, I don't know. It's like if I had the character portraits, I would write my own little scenario where Appo gets the crap kicked out of him and ultimately ends up getting the school days ending treatment. Seriously. I don't think there's ever a point in the entire novel where his character is any way not repulsive. Like I said, I've been through 2.5 routes back in the day, and I don't recall Appo ever being in any way likable at all. He's the worst character.
あれはちょっとやりすぎちゃったよね。ああいうことって女の子は敏感だし。そうだね。これだけ噂が広まっちゃうとみんなが敵視するのも仕方ないとこあるよ。
それで誰も相手にしてくれなくってさ、寮の場所もわかんないんだよ。
じゃあ私が案内してあげるよ。
マジでいいの？
Are you sure that's alright? They won't start bullying you for helping us, will they?
あ、それは大丈夫と思うよ。春にゃんは学園長の孫だ 信頼されてるもんね。それはどうかわからないけど、でも私は男子をもてなすようにって学園長にも言われてるから。まあ適任だよね。ハルニャンなら誰も文句言わないよ。
Is that true? Then that means we can count on her. Erika gives us a reassuring smile as if she guessed what was on my mind.
大丈夫だよ。じゃあとりあえず寮に案内するね。
Please, if you will.
じゃあ行こう。
As we followed Erika, a gorgeous building came into view. Like, wow, is our dome gonna be that? Like, kind of, well, honestly, I don't know. It looks like a kind of mansion in a way, doesn't it? Is that it?
あれは女子寮ね。冷暖房にセキュリティ完備。なかなか快適だよ。
It's really nice and fancy, unlike what your dome's gonna be. I mean, to be fair, they only recently, like, started allowing guys to go to the school, right? So it kind of makes sense they wouldn't have anything prepared quite as well, I'd imagine.
ほう、すっげえな。じゃあ男子寮の方が新しいんだからもっと豪華ってことだよな。
Well, prepare to be disappointed. That's right, I can't wait to see it. Where is it?
ここまっすぐだけど。
早く見に行こうぜ。どんなすげえとこなんだろうな。ワクワクしてきた。
待って、俺も行く。
You know, I've just realized the guys are the only characters that seem to have visible teeth at all.
そんなに期待して走らない方がいいかもしれないよって聞いてないね。
You know how low you should have those expectations? Well, if you ever played Earthbound, there's a house you can actually purchase, and if you know what house I'm talking about in question, kind of think of that in terms of expectations, because it's pretty run down. We ran straight ahead for a while, but the only thing we saw was an old shack. This is weird. There wasn't a fork in the path or anything, was there?
どれどれ、どれが男子寮だって。もっと先なんじゃね。もう少し行ってみようぜ。
もう行き止まりだぞ。これが男子寮なんじゃないか。
Our expectations had rocketed sky high and now plunged like a lead balloon.
みんな足早いよ。
We knew this shack was going to be our home by her sad face.
ごめんね。急な編入だったから時間がなかったらしくて。
I wonder how small it actually is inside. Probably doesn't even have any heating system, nothing, no air conditioning. And it's probably gonna be boiling, probably mosquitoes and shit, I'd imagine. And from the looks, is it near like near a beach or something here? That'd make it even worse. Tide comes in, ah! You know, well, no, they would obviously build it away from that, but hey, I would not want to be that close to the sea, you know.
時間なかったって言っても、これ適当すぎない？
At least it's got air conditioning, right?
ごめん、ないの。プレハブじゃ冷房も暖房もほとんど効果ないらしくって。
I see. Well, do they at least have a fan?
つっても女子寮と違いすぎだろ。せっかくこんな偏僻な島にまで足を運んでやったっつうのに、この待遇の悪さはどうよ。
Honestly, if anyone deserves it, Appo, it's you.
ごめんなさい。
Seriously, it's like even outside of his perverted side, he's a really kind of character, you know? Don't blame Haruka, she didn't build it.
そうだけど、それにしてもこれは。
We shouldn't have seen the girls' dorm first. The difference in scale is what was bringing us down.
また自信なくなってきた。やっぱり俺らこの島じゃうまくやってけないんじゃ。
Stop being so overly sensitive, Daigo. It'll work out.
まあ住めば都とも言うしな。
I wouldn't think we'd manage, but there was such a letdown between the ideal and our reality that I didn't have much confidence.
本当にごめんね。何か困ったことがあったら言って。学園長に掛け合ってできる限りなんとかするから。
Thanks, but this really isn't your fault, okay?
そうだったね。ありがとう。で、私が励まされてどうすんのよ。
Seriously, if I'd have one request here, it would be to have a fan, you know? Just like... I don't know, like here in the UK, I don't think we'd really have like air conditioning stuff like you would in the US. Not quite the same thing because colder climate, you know? But you can get some really warm days. I've always got my fan on, you know? And until recently, I'd always have my window closed, so a lot of times my room would feel like a freaking furnace or a boiler. It was just like, ah! So it's just like here in the UK when it comes to that, it's like we got fans and just opening the window, that's all you can really do. We don't really get like, well, we do get some kind of heat waves, but it's nothing compared to, you know, much warmer countries. But it can get pretty intense because of, you know, it's a colder country here, you know? She tapped her head and stuck out her tongue as she smiled, but it was a restrained smile. I had to say something to lighten the mood, but didn't know what to talk about.
どうしよう。他のところも案内しようか。
Everybody was so depressed that nobody could answer her question. Hey guys, let's just drop our stuff for now and rest. We can ask her to come back after a break.
そうだね。じゃあ私はそろそろ戻るけど、何か困ったことがあったら言ってね。
Bring a fan, unless there's no electricity in these buildings, which would make it way worse, you know. Thanks. Like, if they go in there and there's no electricity, then that would suck majorly. Haruka waved as she left. Once we lost sight of her, we felt like a pack of abandoned dogs.
住めば都か。そこんとこどうなの？
Everyone glanced at the shack we've discussed. That was our new home. That'd been our final hope, so the shock was severe. You know what, I just like picturing that abandoned shack in Skyrim with the Dark Brotherhood side quest thing gets initiated at. I'm just picturing Apple as one of the captives. It's just like, which one will you kill? Oh, I don't know, that's a hard decision. How about Apple?
入らないのか？
I'm kinda reluctant myself.
じゃあ俺とりあえず荷物置いてくる。
He was back as soon as he walked inside. He was covered in sweat.
あんたふざけんな。中はサウナだ。こんなとこ住めるか。
やっぱな。まだ日が高いし。
あの屋根トタン1枚だろ。昼間はサウナみたいなもんだよな。
At least it has a roof to keep the rain out, right? Okay, both were equally big problems. If we kept standing here, we'd wind up with heat stroke. For now, we wandered over to the shade.
腹減ったな。
今日は飯抜きだぞ。
やめろ、思い出したくない。明日の朝飯まであと何時間あんだよ。
He must be starving after how much he threw up on the boats. And, you know, outside of that as well. Well, it's no use staying here. Let's go for a walk.
出歩いて大丈夫かな。部屋でじっとしてろって言われたけど。
I'm just trying to lighten the mood.
ひもじい。
食欲も性欲もダブルではけ口がないとは。 青春の楽しみの9割は奪われたも当然だ。
Oh, shut up, Appo. I know we brought part of this on ourselves, but we were finished. No, it's all Appo's fault. He is the main reason the situation is shittier than it would have originally been. Nice view, though. Even the ocean breeze, which felt so good when we arrived now, feels like an annoying mockery of our situation. We all stopped at a point overlooking the harbor. You know what about the garlic that one guy gave them? They could eat that.
あれ、港がずいぶん静かになっちゃったな。
来た時は祭りみたいだったのにな。なんか騙されてたんじゃないのか、俺たち。
We couldn't have imagined how quiet it got at night. It felt like magic had been cast on the island. We looked down at the port and reflected on all of our dreams that had already been crushed by this island. No one said a word, no one moved an inch, no one knew what to do from here on. Maybe this is karma for what we did. For what Appo did! I mean, Dago stole a sock, but compared to what Appo did, that's mild. Kazushi's only crime was being associated with this idiot. Pierre hasn't really done anything particularly noteworthy to, you know, he's a pervert. All of them are, but Appo is the main reason. He is the one to blame the most. Every situation they find themselves in, you can bet your ass that Appo is the one who originally caused the situation to get out of hand, or even to initiate the situation to begin with. It felt like we had ruined everybody's party.
女子校に来れば黙っててもモテると思ったのにな。
Well, how many guys got transferred there aside from these four?
俺は悟った。モテない男はどこに行ってもモテないんだ。
Well, if they looked and acted like you, Appo, well, I don't know, maybe there's someone that would be interested in you, Appo, but you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. See this mouse here? I'm going to give you a horrific spoiler for... We're not gonna see it in the trial version, but horrific spoiler, right? If you don't want any spoilers, mute the video until I move this cursor again. So, beginning spoilers in 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so despite Appo being the most repulsive character imaginable, he actually gets laid. We don't see him getting laid. Well, actually, no, we don't see any CG on the thing, but there's one that I remember where it's like, why? And can you guess who he gets with? It's that freaking Fusen chick. You know, the funny face chick. I mean, is that surprising? They were made for each other. But seriously, the fact that Appo got with anyone is ridiculous. And what even more ridiculous, I think he's the first one to get laid out of all of them. Seriously, what the fuck, man? Makes no sense. Anyways, spoilers over. Don't be so hard on yourselves. Something good will happen.
でも俺らすっかり犯罪者扱いだし。
初めにつまずいたのは痛かったな。すっかり変態扱いだもんな。
But honestly, I think that was a big mistake. Those rumors spread in no time. It was shocking to see Appo being honest. He really must be feeling weak. Actually, it wasn't just Appo. We were all weak. The girls weren't talking to us. Our room was a shack. We thought that everything would go great for us if we came here, but that was all just an empty dream. But we still had hope for some kind of major change. I guess things will just stay the same. What should we do now? After everyone's faces waiting for someone to answer me.
ここにいてもこの先いいことなさそうかな。
女子は誰も相手してくれないしな。俺のものにならない女なんて女じゃねえ。
本物の女は ちょっと怖いかも。
うわ、大悟お前今のはちょっとキモいぞ。
集団で影でコソコソするやつらは怖い。
まあな。
You're right. We were all filled with a sense of despair. The sky was blue, the clouds were white, green forest was everywhere, and the blue ocean was all around us. You can even see the giant gate. You know, this image makes me think of Moonlight Walks, that ridiculously short visual novel that I LP'd a few years back. That was literally just 2 parts. This was supposed to be the perfect summary, and our hopes were completely dashed. I took a few deep breaths so that I could clear my head. This kind of thing happens sometimes. There were some crazy moments, but there were some pretty cute girls, and maybe this was a great island. But maybe not for us. Should we go home? Everybody raised their heads as if they didn't understand me. You know, how hilarious would it be if that was an option? Just like, that would be the bad ending. Just like, where they just leave the island, nothing actually happens beyond it.
帰るって。
帰るったってどうやって？足がないぜ。
There were boats in the port, right? That still want to make our escape. That's a bit drastic.
本気かよ。このまま帰っちまうの？
せっかく試験に受かったのにいいのか？まあ状況は良くないけど女子だけはいるぞこの島。もうちょっと粘ってればなんか一つくらい。
Pierre didn't continue.
ま、もういいか。なんかこんなしょぼくれたままじゃどうしたってダメだよな。
Right, so let's do something really crazy. Let's steal a boat and sail home.
そうだな。やっちゃうか。俺たちを見てひそひそ言ってた奴らをあっと言わせてやっちゃう。
Man, Appo's line of thinking is always so dumb. It's like, yeah, let's show those girls that we aren't idiots by stealing a boat.
そうすっか。俺たちがやればできるってとこ見せてやろうぜ。
でも船なんて運転できるのか？
We'll figure it out somehow. I have my motorcycle's license. The boat said my heart on the engine, so I bet it runs the same. Just because you can ride a motorbike doesn't mean you know how to pilot a boat. That'd be like saying, well, I can ride a bicycle, so I can, pilot a plane.
よっしゃ。じゃあ大脱走としゃれ込むか。
よし、荷物まとめて5分後に集合。
We'll show them what we can do. Yeah, boy, I don't want to have to blah. That's right. If we fail once, just start over and try again. Our possibilities are still as countless as the stars. And their IQ is significantly less. Combined. There's no one here, right? Let's move. We ran with our luggage into the bustling harbour from this morning was now dead quiet. We could hear each and every one of our footsteps.
なあ、やっぱなんかおかしいぞ。静かすぎる。
漁師は朝が早いって言うからな。今頃はもう家で飲んだくれてんだろ。
誰もいないんなら好都合だって。今のうちに船を強奪、速やかに帰還する。
どの船にするんだ？
一番いいガス船。
I mean, it's that one. Move out! We spotted an awesome looking boat and dashed towards it. All of a sudden we heard the sound of the earth shaking and the calm ocean surface began to bubble.
今度はなんだよ。
Oh, I remember this now. The sound grew louder and the ocean waves grew bigger. It looked like something might leap out of the water at any minute.
なんだよこの島。やっぱ変だって。
The boat's just ahead. We're almost there. All of a sudden the boats began to sink. All the boats are sinking!
違う。海が
The surface of the water drifted further down, or was the island rising higher? I couldn't tell. Either way, the water went further away. The boats.
そんな
なんだよこれ、なんなんだよ。
We couldn't do anything but watch. Watch the blank background. Now I'm totally getting freaking Mystery Dungeon vibes now. It's like that one place in Explorers of Darkness and Time, and probably Sky as well. I don't know if they had the same one there, where it has that waterfall kind of floating islands. It's totally the same kind of thing. Water level sank several hundred meters. How does that even make sense? I know there's some magic shit going on, but that still does not make any sense. If it affect the ocean in that way, shouldn't it like have an effect in, you know, other parts of the ocean as well? If it just suddenly sank several hundred meters, the water level sank several hundred meters. Now we can't escape. I told us about this. So, it's an inescapable island. Because the flower will bloom for somebody. The protagonist, to be exact. The generic-looking protagonist, because of course. I wonder if this will get a copyright thing on it. Probably match third-party content. I'm now noticing this censoring the, you know, the nudity. This song totally has, like, we haven't even seen that girl yet. This totally has a kind of Little Busters theme going on to it. I can't keep up with the intro. Well, I'm not even trying, really. Now, time to decide on what. What? Is he flying on a frickin' desk? I wonder if I'll have to edit some of the intro. Edelweiss, overdrive. I wonder if that's the full trial version, is it? Nope, it isn't over yet. It would make sense to end it right there, wouldn't it? You know, the intro is just like, now buy the full thing. But nope, because we haven't met all of the characters yet, so, you know, that would have left on a literal cliffhanger though, wouldn't it? We sank to the ground by the edge of the cliff, unable to move as the sea breeze blew against us. The entire shoreline had been right before us, but now it was incredibly far below us. That's not fair. We were even failing to cause the mischief we were so professional about. Nothing we tried to do went well. It's like the teeth of our gears wouldn't sink.
これからどうする？
どうするってあそこに戻るしかないんじゃないか？
カズシ、どうする？
Well, what can we do? Nothing was going well for us. Floundering about and trying to change the flow didn't help any. What were our remaining options? We could always try swimming our way back. If we kept challenging the impossible, would we finally achieve something? I felt like we had to keep trying to escape.
無理だって。船で何時間かかったと思ってる。
胃がひっくり返るくらい船に乗ってたんだぞ。
I know, but nothing we've done has gone well. Not one single thing. We heard a familiar voice from behind us and straightened up. Our conditioned reflex had kicked in. Panchu senpai. Panchu senpai stared at us in silence. He was the last person we wanted to catch. We wanted to catch. We felt bad. We felt like children who got caught pulling a prank.
先輩こそこんなとこでどうしたんすか？
What? You ran away from them? Senpai sounded really annoyed as he lit his cigarette. He inhaled deeply and breathed out the smoke. We were in awe of Senpai as he puffed out his cigarette on his cigarette.
Yeah.
Panchu was staring at the luggage we'd brought with us. This isn't...
なんでもないっす。ちょっと荷物の整理を。
Senpai looked at our luggage, then out over the ocean, and finally back at us. Huh? The bag rustled as he pulled out some anpan from the Ida family bakery.
いいんですか？1個しかないですけど。
He shoved the bread at us. Senpai.
ありがとうございます。
The four of us ripped apart the anpan and gobbled up our share. We were so hungry it tasted like the most delicious thing we'd ever had. Completely different to how it was when he originally force-fed Apple in the first part, isn't it? This is the way he talks, though.
Ois!
And Panchu. A trail of smoke followed Panchu as he left. Looked so strong and manly as he walked away.
惚れた。
What?
もう女なんてどうでもいい。俺はパンチュー先輩についてくぜ。
I think Apple would go at anything with a pulse, to be honest.
女なんてうぜえよ。父くせんだよ。
From tomorrow on, we're going for stalwart men.
父くせえんだよ。
あ、いたいた。おーい。
Ran's swell silhouette was running towards us.
うぜえ。父くせんだよ。
おーい。こっそりご飯持ってきてあげたわよ。
え
I bet her food stinks too.
マジで？
イエス。なんちゃん最高。
Their opinion changed very quickly, didn't it? You guys.
残り物だから大したものじゃないけど、おにぎりとおかずね。お腹すいたっしょ。
女の手料理なんて俺初めてよ。
優しいよ。あったけえよ。女って最高。
俺、女が好きだ。
Don't you guys ever think with your brains and not your dicks? Well, Daigo sometimes, Daigo sometimes feels like he has his, a bit of a brain to an extent. Pierre doesn't really seem like that much. He's always thinking with his dick. But compared to Apple, just like nothing compares on that. I was amazed at how their opinions changed as fast as a flip of the hand.
すげえうまそう。いただきます。
Slap. Ran slapped Appo's hand as he reached for the food.
何すんだよ。
何って食べる前に出すものがあるでしょ。
食べる前に出すもん。謎かなんか。
これよこれ。
Yes, you know, this right here, this symbol. You know, why is that a dollar sign? It is, isn't it? Why a dollar sign? This is freaking Japan. Ran made a sign for money with her hands.
金？
ピンポン大正解。
Message on Facebook.
なんだよ、金取んのかよ。
当たり前でしょ。なんで私がタダでご飯なんか作ってあげなくちゃなんないのよ。
She saw an opportunity to make a little extra money, and that's why. It's not out of the goodness of her heart or anything.
土くせんなよ。
何を食べないの？食べないんなら野良猫の餌にでもするからいいけど。
And I'll charge them as well.
払うよ。払えばいいんだろ。いくらだよ。
一人1000円ね。
高っ、払うよ。
女なんか。
So that's about, I don't know, how much in pounds would that be? Probably like somewhere between 8 and 9 pounds. So yeah, somewhat pricey there.
おお、いい食べっぷり。さすが男の子だね。
米うめえ。
You know what? Well, it obviously can't be just me, but I am so tired of seeing Appo's hideous face. Growl, I couldn't blame my stomach. I hadn't eaten anything since getting off the boat.
カズシは食べないの？早く食べないとなくなっちゃうよ。
Yeah, I'll eat. It's better to not have to think about our situation on an empty stomach. Its first day on the island is already broke, I'd imagine. Man, look how plain this room looks. So we came back. So, we just arrived, so our room was empty. It didn't feel like our room at all yet. It looks more like a cell.
あっちの部屋と全く一緒だな。
Appo and I shared one room. Of all the people to have to share a room with, Pierre and Dago took the one next door. God damn it, Appo, could you fuck off? Like, seriously. Like, he's like, it annoys me that he's on screen so much that he's appeared in most of the thumbnails for these parts. Yet the four of us still girled in one room. We just felt like that right now.
しかしひでえとこだよな。なんだよあれ。
海が下がるってどういうことよ。ありえねえって。
Unless the island actually rises, which is also a possibility, but... I mean, magic. That's all you really need to say, really.
俺たち閉じ込められたんだな。
I think so too. This island is crazy. The ocean sinks, the signposts are killing machines that attack. Who knows what else there is? I felt like a bird in a cage. And I was thinking, I didn't really comment on it, but when that signpost attacked, like when I was editing, I thought to myself, just like, that signpost is like a slasher, villain in a slasher movie, like Freddy Krueger, not Freddy Krueger, I'm thinking the wrong one. Jason Voorhees, or Michael Myers, the classic ones where they're just like, anything sexual going on, they are right around the corner to put a stop to that. And it just happened to turn up when they saw Mizuki naked, although they didn't know it was her at the time, and only Kazushi saw it. Maybe that's why I went for Kazushi. It was like, I will have none of that on this here island. You must die. And as well else there's, I felt like a bird in a cage. I don't know about anything else happened to us, not today. I was beat, so I just wanted some rest. Well, however time. Only 39 minutes. I'm gonna check what that message was. Yeah, I'll call it a part there. That's just one part then. I thought it was gonna be split into 2 parts. But just the one. Just the one. I don't think there's much left of the trial version here left. It's like, in comparison, I just think of Teardrops. I couldn't really get into it because, I don't know, the characters just didn't really, this is like, they form a band, right, and like, it's another Overdrive novel, by the way, and I played the trial version. I never got to the end of the trial version, because the trial version seems to be ridiculously long. It's just like, and I never got to the end of it, even though I went quite a ways through it. And the reason was, I just didn't really like the characters all that much. Like, the protagonist is like a kind of like classical kind of violinist who had to like give up his dreams of that, and he ends up turning to playing rhythm guitar or some shit, and he's like, I don't get this rock music shtick. And then you got a singer who feels like all stuck up, and she's all like, no, you gotta sing with passion, and she gets on stage and she just goes la 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 la. We don't actually hear her singing, and I don't know, I just didn't really find the characters appealing. And the drummer is just like, you're the typical kind of one of those characters, aren't you? Just like, look at me, I'm kind of all like, I don't even know what kind of characteristic it was. The only characters out of the band I really didn't dislike at all, for the most part, were the lead guitarist and the bass guitarist. Everyone else was just like, But then again, isn't that how, I've never been in a band, but with all the bands in the world where it's like band members that don't tend to see eye to eye often, maybe that's it, creating that tension. It's like, I don't really like this character much, just like, but then what, well actually, if I was in a band I'd be a guitarist, so maybe I was the lead guitarist in that case. I don't know. Why am I rambling about Teardrops? Oh yeah, because the trial version for that is so ridiculously long. I could probably go through other trial versions of visual novels on Manga Gamer, and freaking Higurashi still probably wouldn't have released the next arc. But whatever, this trial version probably hasn't got much left before it's concluded. And I don't know if I'll ever actually play the full version, because it's more, I don't know. I mean, it does have, like, you know, some good plot and all, but is a bit on the kind of pervy, perverted kind of side for, you know. But then again, think of Shuffle, for example. It was like, every character route felt like it was like, the lead up to the character route is like, okay, development. As soon as the character route officially begins, it's those scenes, followed by those scenes, followed by those scenes, and then it ends. Just like, where was the development when the route actually began? Then, meanwhile, you got Dark Copper 2, which has a lot of plot and character development stuff, you know? And same with Karawa Shoujo. You know, but Shuffle is kind of different in that regard. I think Edelweiss kind of falls somewhere in between, because it does have, you know, character development and a fair amount of decent plots. It's like the opposite in a way. It's like, starts out really perverted, and then, well, I don't know. I haven't played all the routes, and it's been years, so I can't really remember. But there were definitely a few of those scenes, obviously. But anyways, I'm rambling. See you next time, viewers. See you next time.